Okay. We're live again, and I want to kill the neighbor's dog. Because why is it that every time I decide I want to go live, I just start hearing bark, 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 bark. Maybe he wants to be on the live stream. I don't know. Let's go ahead and tweet this out, get this out on Facebook, and all of you guys know the drill. Share it, do your thing. Even you haters, I love you guys, especially the AMD hater. He's really been making my day today. He thinks he's trolling me, but he's been actually giving me a lot of entertainment today, and I appreciate the entertainment value. Come hang out. Tech Talk. AMD sucks. No, just kidding. Let's see. Get in here now. Alright. Boom. Alright, tweeted. Let's do this. So, I didn't do a live stream last week. There was a lot going on, and I just had to, let's see. How's the volume levels, first of all? Is the sound out of sync still? I've been playing with it. I was playing with it, no sexual pun intended either, I promise you. Trying to get the sound to sync up, and I don't know what happened. The latest, I use XSplit as my encoder. And for some reason, the last update to XSplit caused a really bad problem with the syncing of the audio to the video. And I know it's not my system, and I don't think it's XSplit because when I'm streaming on Twitch, it's perfectly in sync. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I just got Skyped from somebody here. One second. It's somebody you guys... Yes! Okay, guys. I forgot to log into Skype here because you guys know I'm friends with Boogie. He wants to hop on in here, and Skype's going to be the best way for him to get in touch with me. So, let's go ahead and turn off the sounds here. Let's mute all the sounds. Well, if you guys want to endure a little bit of last-minute technical changes here, Mr. Boogie2988 would like to hop into my live stream. Just seeing how he'd rather do this, either by phone or not by phone, but by Skype video call or Skype audio. Either way, I really wanted to talk about the future of... I really wanted to talk about the future of gaming. Hold on. Yeah, he's telling me that the audio is lagging, and I was just talking about that, my friend, when I... for whatever reason, the live stream on YouTube doesn't sync the audio when I'm going through XSplit. It doesn't do a very good job of it, because... I don't know, the last XSplit update did that, but I'm just fine on Twitch. On Twitch, I don't have any of those problems. So, here's what we are going to have to do. I need to get Mr. Boogie in here. I'm not set up to get his video, so you guys are just going to have to bear with me for a few minutes here now. With a schedule like his and a schedule like mine, and he's calling right now. Let's do this. Boogie, I know you're calling. Give me a second here. I've got to reset up the sounds here. There we go. Oh shit. Give me 1 second, Boog. I will call you right back. My sounds. I'm so not ready for this. I tried to coordinate this earlier, but it was last minute, and then we decided to do this later. And now all of a sudden, we're going to get our good friend, Mr. Boogie2988 in here. Yeti. Save. Let's see what we've got here. Boogie.
What's up, man?
Okay, now I just got to get your video in here. I am not watching the chat, so I have no idea if this is even, like, making it up on the internet. So I'm going to kind of require you to tell me of what you see at the moment.
Okay, I'm hitting reload. Let's see what's happening. Nope, just see you.
Yeah, well, you're not going to see you, but you should be able to hear you.
Okay, hi. Hi, everybody. Hello, can you hear me?
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in the corner here. You're going to be like... You're going to cover up some of the computer porn in the background there.
Oh, yeah.
Which is perfectly fine with me. Let's go ahead and...
I gave you a shout out on Twitter, by the way, just now, and maybe people will come in and say hello.
And there you are. You are now up on the screen.
Hey, that's scary. Ah.
Invading my stream. Look at that.
Hey, man, well, it was so much fun when I had you on mine. I absolutely wanted to do this, so I talked to the fiance. She's out taking her nightly walk, and one sec, I'm live with Jay. Come say hi. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And everyone's just going nuts saying the audio's out of sync. I know, guys. I don't know what the hell's been going on. For the last hour, I've been trying to sync it up. And some people are saying it's synced, so I don't know. Whatever.
It's XSplit, and that's the thing, man. Like, I bought this software, too. I have a license for it, and it's like the best software there is, but it's still not that great, you know? I don't know. It's like the best software for this live streaming thing, but they always screw up. It's really frustrating. Even on, like, my high-end PC, I have, like, some real lagging issues, and, like, using it to capture, because I like to capture and then edit and upload, it doesn't work. It's annoying.
You know what? It's perfect for Twitch. I don't have any of those sync issues with Twitch, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, I think they're design it for Twitch, you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know, in the future when we do this, if we do this again, I'll do a hangout because I'm set up for like single, you know, kind of like being like a single anchor here, you know, fap into the world. But like the best I can do is put you up in the corner there. I want to give you your own little like floating window and you know whatever. But
well, we can always do that next time. Hey, did you hear? Speaking about streaming on Twitch, did you hear about this Zillion OP guy?
Oh yes, the catfish guy. Can you believe that?
I can't believe that happened. Oh my god!
I can believe it actually because when you know as well as I do the power of the internet and you can reach people and you can start pulling at their heartstrings and they start sending you money.
For those of you who don't know, by the way, just let me get you caught up. There's a live streamer, kind of famous, played a lot of Diablo 3. He was paralyzed from the waist down, had his girlfriend take care of him and stuff. And anyway, the other day, by the way, just let me get you caught up. There's a live streamer. He got up, stood up out of the wheelchair, walked off screen. His girlfriend, who's like talking at the time, just completely loses it. She's like, "Oh my god!"
And then she goes into this stupid story about her dog like peeing in the middle of the store or something because she was trying to hide the fact that she like saw him get up and walk away, and then she tried to play it off like I love the fact that the private messages went public where she tried to play it off like he fell out of his chair. That was the most controlled fall out of your chair, get up and walk away, and then supposedly he says he fell into the corner of the desk like off screen and then like punctured a lung or some shit. Like he just went all crazy, and it's like, well, you know, at that point that's the reason why it's hard for people like you to gain trust, for me to gain trust. I mean, shit, there's I don't even know. You know, I kind of feel bad for her in a way because it's not really her problem, but she was benefiting from it, because she was living with the guy.
Yeah,
and she knew what was going on.
Yeah, everybody there is guilty. And at the end of the day, though, here's what we've learned. And I often tell people this. Keep your money, people. It's hard to earn. It's difficult to acquire. And at the end of the day, only spend money you're capable of giving away that you would have given to the guy anyway. Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't believe in Kickstarter. I don't believe in, like, prepays. I don't even believe in, like, pre-buying a video game anymore.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, keep your money until you know it's absolutely something you want to spend. And if you're going to donate something, don't donate it for a cause. Don't donate it for a reason. Don't donate it for pity. Donate it just because you like the guy. And, hey, if you liked Zillion to begin with, you probably still like him, even if he's a fraudulent fuck.
Yeah.
You know? And if you did it just because it's some guy in a wheelchair, then you got played.
It's been quite the week for internet drama. I'm serious. I know, with the Adam Orth thing, and I kind of feel like, I mean, you know, your video was the first one up regarding it, and then it went viral from there. And what was the website you got it featured on?
Oh, it got everywhere. From Kotaku was the first one to pick it up.
Kotaku, that was it. Yeah.
Game Informer picked it up. But there was a CNN article that didn't like embed it, but they linked to the YouTube channel. It was all over the place. It's crazy. Yep. And it wasn't monetized either because I said the F word too many times. Well, so they flagged it.
I really like the 1 hour of fuck you.
Oh, that was so funny.
I watched a solid 10 minutes of it. Just because I was sitting there, it was edited so well. I tried to find the seam of when it looped, and the guy did a really good job of looping it.
Dude tells me today on Twitter, he's like, and he gets me on every source too. He's like, hey man, how does it make you feel to know that you got Adam Orth fired? And I was like, it kind of makes me feel guilty that I played a role in it, but I didn't get Adam Orth fired. Adam Orth got Adam Orth fired.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm self-employed, okay? So if I get on my YouTube channel and I say some shitty stuff, okay, there's nothing you can really do about it. I don't answer to anybody. If I get on Twitter and I say some stupid shit, that's my problem.
Yeah.
Okay? He works for fucking Microsoft. Okay?
Absolutely.
He has to shut up and stay in line. At the end of the day, that was his only decision, was to shut up and stay in line. He didn't do it. And as it turns out, it looks like the new leaks are saying that maybe there's not always on, maybe it's not always on. And if that's the case, then he was even stupider.
Absolutely, yes. And my wife, who's not even a gamer, has been following this story just because of the publicity of it.
Yeah.
And she reads me an article today, and she says, well, it looks like maybe there was another, almost kind of like a Microsoft cable box thing that would require always on. Yeah, that fucking makes sense. But
exactly.
you know, just it was his attitude that got him fired. And I love the fact that it was like the tweets heard round the world, and the guy only had 2,000 followers, but you know, it just spread like a wildfire. And I had lunch today with a friend who's also another gamer, hardcore gamer, and he tells me today, he says, do you think Adam Orth really resigned? I said, I think it was one of those situations where he was called into the boss's office and said, hey, we're going to give you the opportunity to man up and resign. Yeah. Either way, this handshake is broken. So where we go from here is up to you. So he took the manly way out to resign. But man, would you want to hire this guy? Look at his LinkedIn.
At the end of the day, he'll get picked up by somebody, probably EA. No, he'll get picked up by somebody, and you know, I want them to be forgiving because the guy was a jerk, you know. But he's probably a good game designer. He probably knows what he's doing. He screwed up really bad that day. He's cost his company a lot of money. But someone will give him a job, he'll prove himself, and he'll be okay. Plus, you know that GIF that's floating around of Woody Harrelson crying on a pile of money, like wipes away the tears of money? Like, this guy's got plenty of money anyway, he's going to be all right, so it doesn't really matter.
Zombieland, wasn't it? I believe that was Zombieland.
Yeah, such a good movie. Oh, my God. But you were talking about, you wanted to talk about the future of gaming, and the future of the gaming right now, as far as I'm concerned, is in sad shape, because you got this Sony registering a no used game, a way to prevent used games and used discs from being played. You've got, which of course they've denied now, but we're not going to use it, but we just patented it anyway. Yeah, okay, whatever, Sony. You got Xbox now with these rumors of, these rumors wouldn't have cropped up if they weren't at least considering it, and who knows yet, it's not May 21st yet. But at the end of the day, they're wanting to make gaming more expensive, more difficult to play. They want to deliver less and earn more. And I get it. I know a blockbuster game costs a lot of money to produce and to create. I get that. And I know that you've got stockholders to answer to, so you need profits. But at the end of the day, they're making record profits. They make more than the movie industry does. Yeah. They make more than any other industry does. You can't broaden this anymore without wrecking your base. And there was a crash. I don't know. I'm old enough to remember this. You're not. But when I was a kid, Atari 2600 caused a video game crash that almost destroyed the entire genre to begin with. If it wasn't for Nintendo and the Nintendo Entertainment System, we wouldn't have been able to have the video games we have today. Yeah. And that's what they're guiding us to. They're getting us to the point that we're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go outside instead. Sorry, can I drop F-bombs in here?
Yeah, I mean, go for it.
Yeah, they're gonna. I'm gonna say, fuck it. I'd rather go outside and than spend $99 on the latest Call of Duty, plus buy your map pack for $20 more, then buy your second single player content 8-hour campaign for $19 more. Fuck you.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of like a couple years ago too, even with Blizzard, before they started really discounting the print vanilla and the other expansions. Where if a new player wanted to pick up something like World of Warcraft, you had to drop like $100.
Yep. And
then $15 a month.
And that's where, by the way, that's where I like PC gaming a lot, because you see a lot of sales that you don't get to see on console games. Like, eventually a disc will get the Game of the Year edition, and if you're lucky, it'll be a Game of the Year edition classic, and it'll be $40, sometimes $30, and it wasn't even that great of a game, or it's about 6 years out, you can get it for $20. But like right now on Steam, if you want to get Dishonored, you can get it for $29.99, brand new copy. You know, right now if you pre-order, of course, I'm kind of anti-pre-order still, but the new Resident Evil, you get all kinds of great shit with it. I don't know. It's fascinating the difference is, yeah, the PC at the end of the day costs more, but the games cost less. Man, you make money by choosing PC. But at the end of the day, I like exclusive games. Like I love Dishonored. I love what's the with the guy with the electricity? What's that series for PlayStation?
Oh,
What is that? Oh God! What
somebody
is
say it in the comments. I know somebody knows.
But I love that series. I love PlayStation All Stars. I love Journey was amazing. I haven't actually played it, but I watched somebody play it. But all the PlayStation exclusives are phenomenal. Kratos in God of War is phenomenal. You got all the Nintendo exclusives. So I'm gonna have a PlayStation in the house. I'm gonna have a Nintendo in the house. I'm gonna have an Xbox in the house so that I can play all of their exclusives like. Halo, that's one of the exclusives. They have that other exclusive.
Xbox doesn't have that many exclusives.
It's got Halo, that exclusive.
Yeah, that's true.
No, what about the second Halo? That was exclusive too.
Somebody's saying the game is called Infamous.
Infamous, yeah, I like that series. It's a lot of fun. And so I'm going to own every console there is. Here's what I'm trying to say. Xbox needs to get some fucking exclusive titles. That's what I'm trying to tell you right now.
Yeah, you can name all sorts for PlayStation and even Nintendo, but it's hard for Xbox. You know, the problem I have with pre-ordering is the fact that used to be a way to reserve your copy of hard copy console discs and computer discs that would sell out. And with everything being digital download now, specifically for computers, it was a computer thing. And then now with digital download, they don't have these shortage issues anymore. Even on console, unless you want some sort of a special edition, you don't have these shortage issues. It's just a way for them to get our money before we realize the game is crap. Just like SimCity, if it wasn't for the amount of publicity on that and how bad it was, I would have owned it. Now I'm glad I don't. I mean, maybe the game's getting better, I don't know, but it completely turned me off.
It's not, but now it's available for Mac, so now Mac owners can be disappointed, so that's pretty great. Pretty happy about that.
Wouldn't it be weird if it ran perfectly on that game, on that platform?
Oh, it can run perfectly because, like, it might run perfectly, but and they might be able to connect now because not a lot of Mac users are going to buy it. But you're connecting to a broken game. Like the Glassbox engine is a slap in the face if you like sim games. It's I forget who it was, but one of the creative individuals at the EA came out and said that complexity is the enemy when you're designing a sim game, and that you start with the most complex idea that you can have, and then you start shaving away complexities until you get the simplest idea that you have, then that's the game you make. And I'm like, that is the opposite of how you make a sim game. Are you fucking stupid?
Yep.
Oh my god.
I want to talk about the Xbox smashing vids, and I am receiving so much hate over there. It's making me laugh because I'm being told I'm plagiarizing you. Everyone's saying you copied him word for word, blah blah blah.
No,
we collaborated that.
And then we sat down that night and like, hey, I'm gonna do this. You're like, that's a great idea. I'm like, you should do it too, Jay. And when you do it, say what I said, do what I did, so they'll know that we did this together. And then people are like, oh, look at this son of a bitch.
Every 5 minutes, you copied Boogie, you faggot. I was like, well, okay, fine, whatever. I mean, it's got 10,000 views, which is good for a video on a channel my size. But hey, the bottom line was, it got the word out. Whether it got exposed to my 10,000 or I didn't even see what your count was. The bottom line was it spread, and that was what we wanted to achieve that night.
Yeah,
and it
worked.
So,
my favorite part about it, of course, you get the Xbox kids in, and you get the PlayStation fans in, you get like the Nintendo kids in, and everybody's like, this system's better, this system's better. At the end of the day, I don't care which system you like or which system you don't like. I'm glad that you like games. Like that's exciting to me. That makes me happy. I'm not anti-Xbox. Jay's not anti-Xbox. We both have a preference. I think I have a preference for PC. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think you have a preference for PC gaming.
You
right?
see my background. You see what's behind you.
Right, exactly. But at the end of the day, I've got an Xbox in the living room. I got a PlayStation. I got a Wii U. I've got a Wii. I've got a 3DS right here in my hand. I play them all. I want to play them all. But it's so funny. They're like, you fucking hate Xbox. No.
You just happen to have a couple Xbox destruction viral videos. But
right, yeah.
It's a dramatic point.
Yeah. And a lot of people ask, you're like, you're so wasteful. I can't believe you destroyed another Xbox. I didn't destroy another Xbox. I destroyed the same Xbox. When the other Xbox didn't get completely obliterated, we took it and put it in a box and kept it in the garage for the past 2 years. And then when it came time to smash it again, I smashed the same one. And that one was an additional, original edition arcade.
Yeah.
That was out of warranty that I couldn't get repaired anyway because I don't waste money.
The one that I broke was an Elite non-HD.
Yep.
The hard drive had already been removed. It had red ringed 4 times already, and the guy who gave it to me, it wasn't even my Xbox. Mine's a new edition sitting out in the living room. I was playing it last night.
Yep.
But he gave it to me to break because I told you I needed an Xbox to break, and I hope this friend came through, and he did. He came through with flying colors, and so. People were saying give it to charity or sell it, so I said fine. Next time I have a broken Xbox, I'll give it to charity if that's what you want. But then what's funny is one guy accused me of not hitting it hard enough. I broke this steel hammer, this steel pickaxe. I broke it in half. But people
You didn't hit it hard enough, Jay.
Well, yeah, I guess this side's still good, but I cared about my vision and my safety because the thing did hit me in the hand when it broke. But that's why I stepped it up to the car. And I don't know, maybe the video was a little bit dark. I tried to make it very dramatic, and I think it worked. It looked very like horror movie-ish. But here's the irony of it. I ran over the 360 with my Durango. Some people got it.
Oh, that's poetic.
So that's why I moved it to the car. I was like, I'm going to run this shit over with my Durango because that's kind of what's happening right here.
For those of you who don't get the joke, you should get the joke. And Durango is the code name for the new Xbox.
Yeah.
Or one of their projects. So you never know.
Well, remember, there's no project in the works that Xbox has confirmed, so nobody knows. We're all based on rumors, but aren't we supposed to hear something in 10 days? On the 21st?
Yeah, it's May 21st is the new date. They pushed it up a month.
God.
They pushed it up before Adam Worth opened his mouth. So, but the other thing I want to say about the future of gaming, we are in a wonderful time because we are in the self-distributing and like XBLA, PlayStation Store, Steam distributable independent game era, and it's wonderful because all of these incredibly creative, incredibly interesting games are coming down the pipeline, and you can even play them on like Facebook.
That's a new platform right there. Heard it here, folks.
I played a game. I got into the beta for a game called Chronoblade on Facebook, and I don't know. There's only like 100 people in here, so I guess I don't know.
There's 162.
Okay, wow, geez. I don't want it to sound like I'm, giving them a shout or anything, but I kind of am because I'm so enamored with the game. Like, it's an open beta now, and like that game alone is better than a lot of the games I've bought in the last year. Mm-hmm. I was just so surprised. It's not like a Facebook social game. It is a little bit, but it's like a beat 'em up, and it's the designer for Diablo 3. Sorry, not Diablo 3, but the original Diablo. One of the designers there is designing that game. Absolutely phenomenal. Love everything they're doing. And that's a completely independent game, built from the ground up, built in his own little studio. Phenomenal what people can do these days. The games like Torchlight 2. Another Diablo clone, but the Diablo spawn, I guess you could say. Binding of Isaac and Super Meat Boy, and it was such a wonderful time for gaming. And then at the same time, bizarrely, you've got EA, who has cranked out some good games. Don't get me wrong, I've really enjoyed some good EA games. But I also could create this just worthless, unfinished pile of crap and push it out the door. And one guy builds a game for $1,000 out of his basement, and another company builds a game for $10 million and pushes it out of a studio with 4,000 people in it. And I like the game made out of a basement better. Yeah, that's something.
I love indie games. I just wish I had more time to play.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I buy them all, though, anyway. Like, people talk about, what do you do with your YouTube money? Well, most of it goes into the bank. But when Steam goes and has these crazy sales, you got a game for like $4 or $5. Even if I know it might be 6 months before I play it, I'll pull the trigger because that guy probably deserves the money. It's okay if I give him $5 of my dollars at this point.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad too because I'm looking up on the shelf up here where I have a lot of my hard copy PC games, and all but one are EA games. And again, like you said, I have nothing against EA. I don't like EA's business model, that's for sure. Right. But all the games I have up here were pre-EA turning into a bunch of jerks.
Well, I'm trying to think what has EA pushed out in the last year that was good. I enjoyed Star Wars: The Old Republic, even though it wasn't as finished and polished as I would have liked it to have been. I thought it was really good. I played The Sims 3. I didn't much care for it. Dragon Age 2 was an embarrassment. I think we can all agree with that, but that's been a while. What games have they pushed out this year? What have they published in the past 365 days?
Okay, no, because 2011.
That's their fault.
It's like they've really only focused on the expansions for Battlefield 3, Medal of Honor, Warfighter, and SimCity.
Yep.
That's it.
They've got this coming out this year. Of course, I forgot. I was looking now, and I see in their little graphics here, they bought PopCap Games earlier last year, or was it past 2 years? I'm not sure. But they bought PopCap Games, and I know they're coming out with Plants vs. Zombies 2, and I think we're supposed to hear an announcement about that eventually. I like that's one of my favorite companies in the world.
Yeah.
You know, so they've got good licenses and they do make good games. I don't like trashing EA just to trash EA, but when they screw up, man, they're gonna hear about it so bad.
I just feel bad for what publishers do to the developers, and you know the small company that's doing the work can just be dragged through the dirt because of the publicity that companies like EA and you know that they do to these developers. And because I work in a software development company. I know what happens here. I know you've got deadlines to meet, and you're pushing. And sometimes you delegate out and you third-party out some of the development, and you're pushing these guys, and you don't want to hear it's delayed. And so, under any circumstances, they'll force it out with bugs and all. And that's exactly what happened with SimCity. Diablo 3 wasn't even finished.
Yeah.
You know?
I have a good story for you actually. I used to play a game called, back in the late 90s, played a game called EverQuest. And when I did, Sony Online Entertainment, which is a much smaller and much less impacting company now, was this huge impacting company. And I mean, with when they bought up 989 Studios, I think it's the people who originally published EverQuest. I mean, they were one of the big publishers. They pumped out some great internet online games. And I got to know a lot of the people that worked for the company. I'm going to name drop here a little bit, but you're not going to know who any of these people are. But just in case you're watching, my good friend Jason Mash, my good friend Paul Carrico, a bunch of others. But these guys, of course, Scott Hartzman, I know he's not watching, but if he was, he went on to lead design and own the game Rift, if you're familiar with it.
Oh, yeah, I played Rift.
Some of the most brilliant minds in gaming. They're still working. Some of them are still working for Sony. Some have gone on to do much greater things. But during that period of time, holy shit, I just got completely off track because I was thinking about how much I miss playing Rift.
You could tell in the middle of that sentence right around where your brain went, bleh.
Where's my brain at? Anyway, now I remember the story. Okay, so I'm talking to my friend Paul one day, and Paul has pulled a 36-hour shift because they've got a new EverQuest expansion coming out. They've got to get it done, and they got to make it happen, right? And so he tells me that how hard it is to work a 36-hour shift. He said he has this other guy. He said he slept on the couch for a little while. So there's another guy there who pulled a straight 48 hours. And at the end of the day, when you log out, you have to write this little report saying what you did that day. And, you know, like what you worked on or whatever, and send it off. And this one guy that worked for 48 hours straight said that he could not remember what he worked on to save his life. And so he got to the little box and he typed in, I made things, period. And then I made things that make EverQuest go, period. Sent it off, went home to go to a coma for 12 hours. Came back to work after 12 hours, and his boss called him to his office. He goes, "What is this? You didn't file one for Thursday. Now you're one for Saturday. Says you made things that go. I don't know. Am I supposed to fire you?" And he's like, "If you want to,
please do.
Or you could release your expansion on time. It's entirely up to you." And the guy's like, "Okay, I get it. I'm sorry. You know, because Sony, I mean, they're not a bad company to work for. And nobody ever, like Paul or Jason, never had anything bad to say about them. But at the end of the day, they are a company that's very, they have a very Japanese style of management. You know,
yep.
Like so you're supposed to work the hardest you can to take pride in your company and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons I think at the end of the day I like Nintendo titles so much because they're always so polished and so good. Most of the first The first, what do you call that? When they're the ones publishing for their own platform.
Oh, proprietary.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I don't know. I guess I'm really on a Nintendo kick right now, but whatever. I don't care. Fuck it. Miyamoto's gonna die one day. I want to play all his video games before he does.
I can relate to everything you just said, especially when sometimes on top of that I take a red-eye flight back east to Boston, work all day, can't sleep because of jet lag, and the very next day I've woken up and went, holy shit, I do not remember yesterday. If you were holding a gun to my head, I could not have told you what happened the day prior. Anything. Yeah. But it all comes down to deadlines, and that's just that's the nature of the job when you work in software. Whether it's gaming or business, it's the same thing.
I wanted a tech job my entire life, believe it or not. And I know it sounds like so unrewarding at points sometimes, but I've always wanted to work in an office, always wanted to work with people, and I tried getting a real job. Like when my web design stuff went down, I was like, I've got 10 years of design background, I can get a job. I couldn't get a job to save my life. I couldn't get a past interview. Mostly because I didn't fit in most of the chairs in the interview's office. And they're like, can you sit down? I'm like, nope, I'm going to have to stand, and I can't do that either, so can I have the job before I pass out?
Hey, real quick, the company I work for now, long before I lost the weight, I was as big as I was. I was 500 when I got this job. Do you know what kind of furniture they had in the office when I went to my interview?
I bet that little tiny stuff with the arms real close together.
Wicker. They had wicker furniture.
Oh, that's...
I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. And they were like, oh, okay. And what's funny is they like pulled out the chair and like made the motion like have a seat, and it's like, are your eyes open? Are you looking at this? Dude, I came through the door sideways, and you're telling me to sit in a wicker chair. Oh my god, yeah.
But so the other reason I don't have one of those jobs is because I couldn't handle it. I used to work security way back in the day when I was in college, a student job. I used to work security here at the University of Arkansas, and I had this boss who was like kind of nice to me, but he was also kind of a jerk to everybody. He was like from, I don't know, some Middle Eastern country. I can't remember exactly where, but his name was Hafed, and he would like call me into his office all the time, and he'd be like, Steven, you clocked in at 5:02, and you're supposed to be here at 5 exactly. You're supposed to clock in. Okay, I know that, Hafed, but the bus, I take the bus in, the bus is running a little bit late. You need to catch earlier bus then, Steven. You have to. And I'm like, all right, Hafed, I'll try to do better next time. I go, I can fire you for any reason at all. Arkansas is a right to hire state. Any reason, I'll fire you because you don't look good. I fire you because you say my name wrong. I fire you because you fat. And I'm like, whoa, you can't say that. He goes, yes, I can. State of Arkansas fire you for any reason. I was like, if you put down on a piece of paper that you fire me because I'm fat, then you're going to get sued. He goes, that's not what I'll put. I'll say that you were late. 5:02. I fired you. You come in 5:02. I fire you. I fire everybody. And I'm like, okay, Hubbeck, can I go do the job? Calm down.
Over 2 minutes late.
But I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle that. I did.
Hey,
because
try one of the things I do 3 main titles on my job, and one of them is I manage all of our help support, and it's not just me, but there's about 6 of us that do assistance of our software, not only for our internal employees, but all the people who bought our software that work in different utility companies and such. We're talking across the country and in Canada. And you try fielding some of these phone calls where I don't even want to get into any of those stories because I don't know who's watching, but yeah, I get it, man. There's times where I come home and I tell my wife, I'm like, I'm checked out. I clocked out at work. I'm here, but I'm not here. So take the kid, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put my head in the desk, and that's all I'm gonna do.
Right. Hey, hold on a second. We're gonna turn off video for a sec. Will you?
All right.
Take off one. I'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and answer some of these questions here. The chat is practically exploding, obviously, because Boogie is in here. So I'm gonna do the best I can to go back here. I see that my AMD hater troll, is here and making a mess for you guys. So just flag him as spam, and he'll go away eventually. He'll get tired. But anyway, yeah, Mr. Nasty Fingers. Oh my God, new Boogie personality. If that wasn't just gonna be considered politically incorrect, I think that would be a great personality, and I hope Boogie's listening. Somebody wants you to come up with a new turban character, but I think that's just asking for so much trouble on that.
That's tempting. Don't get me wrong, but If I ever got to do like Saturday Night Live, you know, where you can push the edges a little bit, and they wanted me to push the edge a little bit, I would gladly do it. But when it comes to my YouTube channel, I make fun of myself a bit, and I like making fun of myself, and I like making fun of the people maybe immediately close to me. I have permission to make jokes about them, like my friend Jason or my friend Flint. But I don't want anybody who ever watches my channel to be like, "Whoa, man, that's kind of offensive to me."
Yeah.
You know. Like I think most people can give me a free pass for being fat, so I do fat jokes, and I think some people will give me a free pass for being an angry gamer because I'm an angry gamer. But I'm not. I don't wear. You know, I'm not Muslim. So
well, that's the same reason why I had to stop making fat jokes when I was no longer obese, because it just becomes mean at that point.
I have this friend who's going to remain nameless, but he, the other day, was talking shit because he's been going to the gym and he's lost like 75 pounds, which is great. But now he thinks he's hot shit.
Oh.
And he posted a status about how fat people shouldn't come to the gym because they're gross. I don't want to look at them. They're too gross.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa, that's some awful shit. It's like, seriously, they just, he's like, they only walk on the treadmill for like 10 minutes, then they go have a smoothie. And I'm like, if I was in there, if I made it to 10 minutes, it'd be a fucking miracle. I couldn't do it with my knees and my back and everything else. 10 minutes would be a lifetime for me. But if I got in there to try to do it, I would expect nothing but love and support from everyone around me. And if you don't want to offer that, you need to check your shit at the door because you're apparently a dick.
Yeah, that's when those guys need to belong to like Gold's Gym or something like that. You know, not just the neighborhood gym. I mean, shoot, I have our gym is pretty good. It's got a mixture of a lot of bodybuilders. It's got your aerobics people. It's got a mixture of everybody. And I've been going to this gym now since November of 2011. I've never seen anyone be rude, you know, because of and there's been some pretty big people in there, Boogie. People that even you'd look at and be like, oh my god. And you're like, I look, and you know what I think when I look at them? I'm like, hey, they're here. How many people are not here at this gym right now that should be? So instead of being a dick, could just be accommodating.
Yep. I'll tell you something. You know what was really surprising to me? The last con that I had gone to, as some of you may know, some of you may not know me at all, but
and that's convention. Some people
I went to a convention called Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City, Missouri this last weekend, and while I was there, it was a very different experience from the convention that I had gone to about 11 years prior, A-Con in 2001, which is the last con that I went to. When I went to A-Con, I was the only fat person there. Like, I was shocked. And it was in Texas, too.
Yeah.
Like, the next biggest guy was like 250, and he was the guy who went with me. And I was just shocked. Like, I felt like the fat. But when I went to Planet Comic Con, you'd be surprised. There were so many big guys. I don't know what is different, why like people are putting on weight, but I definitely don't feel alone anymore. And I think that's one of the reasons that I think that's one of the reasons the perception is changing and things are getting better. And I think that the perception of because everybody knows a fat guy now. And you may not know a guy my size, but you may know somebody close. And it's surprising. I actually saw a guy there my size. Like, I put him in that video, and I hope it didn't hurt his feelings because I was so proud of that guy for being there and for getting out and being who he was and what he was. And, you know, of course I wanted to lose weight like everybody else, but he's owning his life, you know.
Didn't you meet Jared there?
Yes, of course, I met Jared, and that was absolutely fantastic. But that was after the con.
Yeah.
Jared didn't come to the con. Jared is a big guy. He's my size, too. In fact, Jared, if you ever see this, I'm sorry, but you might be a little bigger than me. That's, I don't know what you weigh, or I'm probably way more, but he's taller, so he may be a little bigger. And it was awesome because here we are at a Mexican restaurant, and if me and like some guy my size had gotten together 10 years ago, back before I became a shut-in, they would have given us hell. The waiter would have said shit. Now nobody cared. They're like, "Would you like more chips, sir?" Because clearly you like to eat food.
Hey, I went to a river trip with some friends, and we rented a boat and stuff. And at the end of the day, a friend of mine who was probably 50 pounds lighter than I was pushing 5. He was about 450. We walked into an all-you-can-eat Chinese place. I swear to God, they kicked us out, and we weren't even. It's not even like we were overeating. We each had like one plate, and we were just talking. But they told us that we had to leave. It's like you could see the fear on their face when we walked in the place.
Hey, there's a guy spamming a question, and since I've seen it like 4 times, I'm going to answer it.
Yeah,
Two Felt Gamers wants to know, is the 670 really better than the 680? Should I get the 670? I'm basically going to do it for recording of games such as Battlefield 3, DayZ, etc. I will tell you from my personal experience, and Jay hopefully will either correct me or back me up, but he'll probably correct me. When I was doing my research, I found that the 670 and the 680 were on the same tier, and the 680 was more expensive and didn't really offer me things that just basically on the tier guide that I looked at, they recommended the 670, but I didn't know why it was a better card, but I think it was a better value. But what do you think, Jay?
Here's what happened, and I can give you the facts on what happened between the 670 and the 680. The 28 or the 22 nanometer process of the GPUs, Kepler for NVIDIA, I don't remember what AMD called it. They performed so good on the Intel side that when they were binning them out, and if you guys don't know what binning is, it's when you have a scale of performance, and if something performs 100% or better of expectations, it goes in the top tier, tier 1 processor or GPU. And if it performs just shy of it within a certain range, they stick it in another bin, and they call it, this is going to be a 670 or whatever. And at the end of the day, when they were prepping these GPUs as they were coming in from the manufacturers, the 680 bin was overflowing, and the 670 bin was like bare. Because the process had become so refined and so good during manufacturing, they didn't have enough of them to fill the 670. So what they did was they practically scooped out buckets of them from the 680 bin, stuck it in the 670, and then downclocked them slightly and disabled some of the CUDA cores. So you never know, because the way that they're binned and the way that they're serial numbered and stuck in, you don't know if you're getting a 680 or a 670 based on how it performed. You could be buying a 680 for 670 price. That's the bottom line. But that's why the performance-wise, they were within 10% of performance of each other at stock speeds. So 670 is an easy way to save $100 and get the same performance. I don't need my 680. I never even push my 680, but I have it because I want it to last longer.
Yep. 2 things. Number one, I saw Jared is in here. Hi, Jared. Sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable at all, man. But by the way, meeting you in Missouri was absolutely fantastic. Such a great time. Secondly, I want to let you know, Jay, that you clearly know your shit, because I consider myself at least slightly educated, and everything you just said sounded like a fucking parent on a Peanuts commercial. It's like, wah, 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 wah. I don't know what he's saying. Sounds like he knows what it means.
And I try and do these streams once a week because I want to educate people on it, but it's funny is I don't know why people come and listen to that shit, because that's what they do. But yeah, I want to address Jared too. I found his channel because of your comments on his, and I really love his vlogs because I feel like I'm watching myself 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, I never crossed the 500-pound threshold, but Jared, I hate to sound like I'm self-plugging my vlog channel, but go to my vlog channel. It's a tiny channel, but it's very intimate, and I talk a lot about weight loss and my experiences. And what really helped me was watching other people talk about their past and where they are today. And you may find something up there that helps you. I talk a lot about what I experienced. There's nothing I've experienced that you haven't, that Boogie hasn't, when it comes to being 500 pounds. But I'd like to talk to you up there, and I really enjoy your content. I specifically liked your vlog where you were attempting to walk all the way around your apartment complex, and you made it I think it was about halfway, and then you cut across the grass. And that was my first video I watched of yours, and I was hooked at that point, because I'm like, you know what? This guy was worried to even go down the stairs to get outside, let alone walk halfway across knowing he's got to go back up those stairs. But I just want you to stick with it, buddy, because guys like Boogie and I are definitely rooting for you.
Yeah, at the end of the day, one of the things, if you are a larger guy and you're watching this, and of course this is advice I've given to Jared time and time again, at the end of the day, a lot of people are like, you need to go outside and do sport because you're fat. You need to. And like, I just got back from my doctor, and my doctor said, you need to stay off your knees, dude. Yeah. And I'm like, really? He's like, well, if you're losing weight from not exercising very much and controlling your diet, you need to preserve your knees because they're only going to be around for so long. You're getting up there in age. You're 40 years old now. Stay off your knees. Exercise in the chair. It's so surprising because what everybody thinks is right for a heavy guy, what everybody thinks is right is actually wrong. And it's so frustrating. Like, you need to get into the gym. You need to, okay, I'm going to have to walk to get to the gym, or I have to walk to get back. And once I'm in the gym, you want me doing squats. Yeah. So what do you think I'm going to be doing to my knees, dude?
Every time you get out of the chair, you did a squat.
Yeah. 90%, if you are above 350 pounds, 90% of your weight loss plan has to be diet.
Yeah.
90% of it.
My personal
10%
trainer
of it-
says that.
Yeah, 10% of it needs to be muscle building. And 90% of it needs to be diet. You got to take in less calories. You need to take in calories from the right sources, not processed bullshit. You know, and speaking about preaching to the choir, I haven't told anybody this on my channel, but I took a break from keto for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I did that because Easter was coming along, and my mother-in-law was coming into town, and I knew we were going to that con. And so during that period of time, it was exactly 10 days. And in those 10 days, I weighed myself today. Jay, do you remember a couple weeks ago I broke 49.99? Do you know what I weighed today?
Well, I remember we talked while you were on your hiatus, and I was a little worried. I really don't know what to expect, because I know once you introduced the carbs and then took them away, your body's just going to go through hell.
506. I weighed 5. I put on 7 pounds in 10 days of actual fat. This isn't water weight.
Yeah.
Because originally when I stood on the scale, I said 516, but I went back on keto, flushed all that water.
Yeah.
In that period, I couldn't believe it.
And this is why it's really important for when you're in the process of trying to get down, when you're trying to lose all of the fat that you have, the excess fat. That's why it's so important to stick to the diet, because you know as well as I do, we all are born with I think it's about 30 million, or maybe it's 30 billion fat cells. But what happens as you get bigger, they multiply, and they never go away. They don't die. So that's why big people regain weight really easily. And when you've gone through keto as long as you have, your body is like, oh my God, give me some damn carbs. And once it saw them, it was like, oh, yum, yum. And it didn't turn any of it into energy. It freaked out and stored it.
Yep.
So
what we're doing now, I'm kind of trying to level it a little bit. I'm doing keto. I'm sticking on it. I'm on it for 2 weeks at a time. At the end of that 2 weeks, if I want to have one meal that has a little bit of barbecue sauce on it or has a couple slices of bread, I go enjoy it. And I'm not trying to cut exactly at 20 carbs a day. Sometimes I go 20 or 30, as long as they're not processed sugar carbs, you know. But at the end of the day, it's doing pretty good. I think I should be able to lose that 6 pounds pretty quick, and I am going to start adding some more muscle building because I kind of gave that up for a while.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to get back on track. But
you know the routine. You took your break, and I mean you knew the results going into it, and it sounds like your head's back in the right place to continue with it.
It was crazy fun. I'm not going to lie to you, too, by the way. Like, that's the worst part about it. Like, I was hoping at some point that I would, like, finish one of those meals, and I'd be like, you know, this just isn't worth it. But no, I guess I'm a food addict, so it's just as great as the first time. You know, I guess I get that from my dad, who is an alcoholic. You know, every drink was the best beer he'd ever had. This is the best beer I'll ever have. This is the best beer I'll ever have. Yep. It was the same way. Like, that meal was the best meal I'd ever had. But at the end of the day, I felt sick and shitty afterwards. And apparently I'm willing to poison myself so that I can have barbecue sauce.
I want to address Poopsicle here. He said, this is way off tech. And you know what? Technically, it's not. A while back, I used to think, oh, man, every time I talk about weight loss stuff, I'm not talking about tech. But you know what? Technology, games, and overweight all go hand in hand. I'm telling you right now. Techies a lot of techies are very overweight. I was. But you know, Boogie, I want to tell you, it doesn't get any easier. You know that. It's not going to get any easier with you wanting those cravings and things. I mean, I remember I was Skyping you from L.A. when I was at not a conference, but I was at a meeting, and they ordered in pizza, and I was only a week into my no carbs thing, and I was flipping out. My mind, and I thought I didn't have the eating addiction issue anymore. I was like, oh, I got a coffee addiction. Okay, fine, I can deal with coffee. But and I've eaten lots of pizza and stuff since I've lost the weight, right? But this is the first time I went back to the diet of no carbs, no processed sugars, no refined flours, or any of that, no starches. Yep. The moment it walked in the door and I smelled it, man, it was like Pavlov's dogs. That shit in my head just started firing on every single cylinder. I was talking to you and I was talking to my wife simultaneously, and people who haven't had a food addiction don't understand. If you're addicted to food and you deprive yourself of the unhealthy foods, the comfort food, when it walks in, it's like a heroin addict trying to get off heroin or detoxing. It's the same receptacles in your brain that are firing.
Somebody said in chat, games are fattening. Yeah, no, our modern lifestyle is fattening because at the end of the day, a lot of us go to work. and when we go to work in a vehicle that we sit down in, and then we get to work and we sit down and we do our jobs, and then we stand up long enough to get home to go sit down to play on our video game systems or to watch TV or to surf the internet. It's not games. It's not just games. You know, at the end of the day, we lead a sedentary lifestyle, not here in America, but in most of the first world these days.
Yep.
And if you don't make the decision to, like, if you look at somebody 150 years ago, the amount of walking they did, it's ridiculous. And thousands of years ago, you can't even imagine.
Yep.
And we pat ourselves on the back because we did 15, 20 minutes on a treadmill. Are you kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? Like, we have lives of absolute convenience brought to us by technology. There's your wrap.
Yeah.
There's your connection. And whether it's the technology that gets me to work back and forth via car or public transportation, whether it's the technology that entertains me once I get home, or the technology that just makes my work that much easier. At the end of the day, man, we lead these sedentary lifestyles. So, yeah, it goes hand in hand. Our modern lifestyle goes hand in hand with being fat. Also, one guy's asking about Alienware laptops.
Oh, God, please
don't.
And
here's the bottom line, okay? You're buying, okay, say you spent $3,000 on a Alienware laptop, okay? You're buying about a $1,500 laptop, and then you're paying $1,500 for a logo. Would you agree, Jay?
You're paying for the logo, you're paying for the design in the case, and some lighting.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, if you have more money than you need, get an Alienware laptop. But otherwise, there's a lot of other places that'll put together a very decent gaming laptop for you. Can you recommend any, Jay?
MSI, Asus, Sager, they all make gaming laptops that are that can play any game you want today on medium to high settings in that $1,500 range. And here's the thing: someone may go, $1,500, holy shit! Well, you're paying for this. You're paying for the micro technology. You're paying for the quality to go into that tiny little case that can play your games and deal with the heat. You have to pay to play.
Or you can spend $3,000 and get the exact same thing with a cool sticker.
Yeah, and a glowing alien head.
And don't get me wrong, if one of these days I may get me an Alienware laptop, maybe I'll make so much money that I'll just be like, you know, it'd look cool in my videos. I'm going to get it as a prop. I'll do it. Who knows? You don't know. I might.
Yeah.
I might smash the shit out of it, too.
I had an Alienware desktop and 2 different Alienware laptops. All of them broke. All of them.
Hey, speaking of MSI, I know this is a tech channel. I want to do this. My 670 from them, my Oak Seed 670 came in with an issue, and I never realized what the issue was. Had a lot of games crashing, but I never connected that it could just be the video card was bum. Jay here helped me figure out that the card was a bum card, and he said I think it's because a good crop of the beginning 670s was broken, right? Is that true?
Yeah, yours must have been an early model. Some of the binning on those 670s, that's the problem with binning, is you can get either a great CPU that they just had to down bin to fill up the stock, or you can get one that truly was right on the edge of not performing right. And what they do is they downclock them, and then wasn't yours an OC edition?
Yeah. So the problem is even worse.
Yeah, that's what happened. See, I'm surprised it was MSI though, because EVGA bought up all of those ones that were binned for overclocking, and the first 1,000 graphics cards that EVGA sold, like 250 of them, which is a horrible percentage, had to be RMA'd. And it was because they were factory overclocking them above the spec that they were binned at, and so they sent out a bunch of cards doing exactly what yours did.
Well, fortunately for me, very fortunately for me, the good folks at MSI were very quick to do me a cross ship, and I should be getting my money back any day now. I haven't checked my account, but I'm fairly certain I will.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank anybody that may have worked for MSI, or thank you especially for helping me diagnose it. And speaking of which, man, I got some stuff I got to do before it's bedtime, so I'm going to go take care of that stuff, man. It's been a pleasure chilling with you. I wish we could have ramped this up a little more so we had even more people in here, but everybody that came in to say hi to me, why don't you stick around? Jay is an interesting guy. If you have any interest in tech, you're absolutely going to love his show. I think you'll have a lot of fun. But Jay, thanks for having me, buddy.
Hey, thanks for the shout-out. We'll do it again in the future, either on mine or yours, and I appreciate you coming, buddy.
Yep, thanks for having me.
All right, peace. Well, there you go, guys. Let me go ahead and close this down. I'm going to do about 10 more minutes here answering some of your tech questions. I know we got a little bit off of... tech a little bit there, but you know, when Boogie comes in, he's a wise guy. He's a wise guy that's got a lot of things to say that are very intelligent and smart. A dear friend of mine, I definitely look up to him, which is why I just laughed my ass off with how many of you guys thought that I was stealing from him the idea of the Xbox Destruction video, because he said it himself. He asked me to do it. He even told me to say what I said. And when he asks, you do it. Some of you guys are heading on out of here because it's your bedtimes or because Boogie left, and those of you that are sticking around, or if you're already a sub, if you haven't subbed, hit that sub button, give it a chance, see if you like it. Let's see if we can educate you guys in some technology, some computers, gaming, Xbox, all sorts of stuff. Now, I know you guys have been looking all along at this stuff behind me there, some of the stuff behind me over there. There's a whole bunch more in that closet. Where the hell is my arm? There it is. In that closet right there. There's more under this desk. Holy crap, my 7870 box fell over. That's an atrocity. Some of those parts are for a build I've already done. Some of those parts are for a build that I'm doing. Some of those parts are my own. A little bit of everything there. But I already did the review right there of the motherboard. I'm going to be doing a review of the 7870. It's 16 gigs of ballistic sport RAM right there. The CX600M. This is the Cooler Master V6 GT air cooler. It's an overclocking 200 watt capable cooler. That is the Samsung 840 500 gig SSD. There's another one of them. Where the hell is my arm? Right there. And then those two Twin Frozer 680 boxes went in the $4,000 build. That is the FX 8350 that's going to be going in this fractal design case right here. And I cannot wait to do a review of that fractal case right there, because it is so sleek and it is just so... I love the design of the case. It's brushed aluminum. It's got removable fans. Like they got contact pins in there to make the fans turn. I can't wait to do a review of that case. In fact, I kind of want to build one for myself just because it's so damn pretty. But yeah, that's what that... Oh, and that up there is my Elgato Gamer HD or Capture HD capture card for if and when I ever start doing any Xbox capture. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys about 10 more minutes here. I'm going to answer some of your tech questions here in the chat. And let's see if I can go ahead and... ZipWinUX99 says, am I going to do a tech giveaway today? No, I don't do giveaways in every single live stream. I only do giveaways if somebody's willing to send me something like Munitio or Tilt has sent me some products. They are actually over there. I'll probably be doing a giveaway or two with some of their products, or a milestone, like I think I did 1,000, 5,000. Might do a 10,000. I'm not sure because we're only a few days away from hitting 10,000 subscribers, and so it is what it is. But don't get picky and don't get greedy with the giveaways. Okay? If people start demanding giveaways, then I'm not gonna do those. Okay. AMD is not bad. Please don't block me. Hey, guess what? I've just had enough of you today, so you're blocked again. All right. Let's see. Best video card for a decent price. Well, you know, Mr. Prox18. A decent price is all subjective. For a $200 price range, I would say go with the 7850. $250 price range, you can go somewhere like the 7870. That's right here. Let me grab this here. What's interesting about this card here, the 7870, is it is... I don't have any pictures of it. I'll go ahead and open it up on the stream, even though I haven't done the review of it. It's not considered a twin Frozer like those guys are right there by MSI, but it has... Open up. Stupid box. It has... Be smarter than the box, Jason. Okay. It has got right here the dual fan design on it, which is kind of like what MSI's Twin Frozer is. In fact, they're the same exact fans. It just doesn't say, and it's a really pretty card, by the way. It just doesn't say Twin Frozer on it, but they're the exact same fans, so I don't know what the deal is with that. But yeah, this is the AMD 7870. There will be some reviews, some performance benchmarking done on this next week. So look forward to that. I think the next product review that I'm going to do is probably going to be that fractal design case back there. That is the Define XL R2, as you can see. I love that case. It's got plenty of room, but the style of it, it just looks awesome. And I went with that case because the guy who I'm building the computer for is using this as an office PC, and he deals with a lot of high-end merchandise, and so I wanted to put something in his office that is going to look like it belongs there, look as sleek and as pretty as everything else that's in his establishment. So yeah, look forward to that. I'm gonna do a speed test and some benchmarking of the Samsung 840 So look forward to that coming up in the future here. Okay, you guys' comments are coming in pretty fast. I'm going to do the best I can here. E.Cheetah says, planning on getting the next-gen system? If so, which one? A next-gen system. Are you talking about computers? If so, it really depends on what the next AMD platform is going to be, whether it's going to be AM3 Plus socket or if they're going to a new socket. If they're going to go to a new socket, there's really no reason at all for me to go with a AMD, because if I have to buy a new motherboard, I'm just going to end up going with I gotta adjust my color or my brightness here. I'm just going to end up going with some sort of a Intel, and if that's the case, then I'll probably end up going with Haswell, which would put me back on the 2011 socket. And like my thing got really laggy now. Jeez, that's what happens when it gets dark on you. Whoa, that's really bright. I look like a ghost. Okay, there we go. Whew. All right, done. It's a Sabertooth Z77 motherboard. Any good? Not any good. And what? Oh, and what graphics card do I recommend? That's from Swoop2oo. Swoop2oo. The Z77 motherboard is an amazing motherboard. It's the same quality as this Crosshair V formula back here for AMD. It's just their Sabertooth series for Intel. I put that build. I used that motherboard in an i7 2700K that I did for a friend, and we're using two GTX 580s and SLI in that motherboard. I love the look of the thermal armor on that thing. I would have one myself if it wasn't for the fact that I don't like the olive drab green color thing they got going on there. I don't like that at all. Anyway, Estrella, I know I'm butchering your name there. You need a good, inexpensive laptop for work. You know, at that point, you can just literally go down to, if there's a Fry's nearby or a Micro Center or even a Best Buy, just get yourself like a $500 laptop. You know, if you don't need games or anything powerful, a dual core is perfectly fine. My work laptop that I use is still a dual core. It's an HP ProBook, and that thing I've had since 2010, and it's still going strong. So. Jack Arsenal says, did I see the article about AMD cheating frames in Crossfire with smaller frames to boost FPS? Yeah, AMD has done a lot of cheating with their graphics cards to put them up on top. But that's the way it is. It's been that way for graphics cards and game designers for a long time. I mean, you'll see those games that advertise, you know, NVIDIA, the way it's meant to be played, and you also will see the AMD stuff on there, and like Dirt 3, Far Cry 3, and all that stuff that are optimized for AMD cards. I think if you go with, like, you know, any NVIDIA or AMD video card that's at least mid-range or higher, you're not going to have any problems going back and forth. Jan Odo says, Sandy Bridge or Ivy Bridge? Sandy Bridge and Ivy Bridge comparison is a lot like the AMD 8150 versus the 8350. 15% improvement from one architecture to the next. I think you're going to see a bigger jump from Ivy Bridge to Haswell than you did from Sandy to Ivy. If you can still get an Ivy Bridge or a Sandy Bridge, there's nothing wrong with them. I would put an i7 2600K i7, you know, an i7 in a build for myself without even thinking twice about it. Canadian Viking wants to know, what is more powerful, an NVIDIA GT630M or an NVIDIA GT540M? Both of those cards are considered, they're not really considered gamer cards, even though they show like pictures of games being played on them. They're considered 1080p playback and 2D playback cards. So gaming on both of those isn't going to be great, but I would say the 630 is probably better than the 540. Mr. Bethany 420 wants to know what I think about the Xbox 720. I think the same thing everybody else does. We don't know. We don't know what the specs are going to be. We don't know if always-on DRM and internet connection is going to be required. We don't know much about it, other than the fact that I guess, based on Boogie's tweets, and I haven't verified it, it's supposed to be something along the lines of $500 or $300, depending on whether or not you pay up front for the service or whatever. I'm not entirely too sure. So, Mick Quad Kid said, just bought a new gaming PC. Do you think 1 terabyte hard drive is enough? You need to ask yourself that. How many games are you going to install? How many videos are you going to keep? How much music, how much software? Are you going to download a lot of videos from your phone or from a camera or something? If so, you can fill up 1 terabyte pretty quickly. I'm currently running myself 128 gig SSD for a couple of main games and programs and my operating system. I've got a 1 terabyte drive that I use for all my YouTube videos and editing, and then I've got a 500 gigabyte drive that I use as a redundant backup. So, how do I feel? How do you feel that Orth lost his job? You mean, how do I feel about it? If I felt how he lost it? Well, I know how he lost it. The way I feel about Adam Orth is he is a public figure for Microsoft, or was a public figure from Microsoft. He needs to keep in mind that anything he says that's private but in a public forum can be used against him, and that's exactly what happened. So I feel bad that, you know, he's got to kind of, I don't know if he has wife or kids or whatever, but I kind of feel bad that he's got to kind of start all over. But if you look at the guy's LinkedIn profile and the companies he's worked with in the past, he'll get another job. It's just how long that'll take, I don't know. He's created a bit of a bad name for himself at the moment when it comes to company PR. Now companies are going to wonder if he's going to say something that's going to make them look bad, or whether or not he learned from this mistake. So that's something he's going to have to figure out in the future. The Papadoo One wants to know best mic for the value for the money. Well, I can tell you right now, the PKA podcast would be a great source to learn about microphones. And secondly, it depends on what that money range is. You can get USB condenser mics for $50, $60. This Yeti here you can get for $100. In fact, you can't really see my mic. This is my mic right here. And it's on a boom. You can get like I really do like also the Audio Technica AT2020. That's a really good mic. You can get it for about $100. I just like the fact that I can use my Yeti also as a sound card, and I can play sound through it. I can use it like you guys are hearing here. I can hear myself through the mic. I can also hear everything happening in the system with my microphone plug that's plugged in right here. Let me show you guys. This plug right here is for my headphones. The USB plug is on this side. This thing becomes a sound card. So now all of my system sounds say Yeti as my sound card, so I can hear everything that's going on. That's why I like the Yeti. It's a little bit big though. If you don't get it, even on a boom like this, it takes up a huge amount of the screen if it's on camera. So because it's a side address mic, whatever. Let's see. Check out a couple more of your guys' comments, and then I am out of here. Will I be buying the new Lenovo phone, the K900? No, I don't plan on leaving Apple iPhone for now. I have been considering doing the using my Galaxy S3 for 30 days straight without touching my iPhone just to see how I feel about it. It's a work-provided phone, so I don't touch it too much because I just prefer not to. I've used Android for 2 years, and I've just moved on. I'm not much of an Android fan anymore. So I thought about doing it as some sort of a challenge to see if I could use Android for 30 days and then give an honest review of it. So we'll see. I'm just not ready to do that yet, but whatever. Club Luigi wants to know, what did I go to school for? Is it worth going into computer engineering and computer programming? Well, of course it's worth it. And what did I go to school for? I did not go to school for computers. I can tell you that. Everything I know about computers, IT, networking, and all of that is self-taught. But if you can get the degree and you can get the computer science credentials, that gets your foot in the door. But it's just like an artist. You've got to be good at what you do, especially if you're a programmer. Programming is a language. It's an art. It's something that you've got to be good at. And you have to be creative. So if you feel that's you, computer programming is definitely where the highest paid computer science jobs are. Aside from getting a network security or an admin security network, like Cisco certified administrator, Cisco, MS, Microsoft network certified, all of that stuff can get you a lot of money if you can get into the right venue. Okay, last question I want to answer here. It's going to be through Twitter because it just caught my eye on my phone and I really like it. And it disappeared. It was about the internet speeds in America. Someone says to me here. Oh, it looks like it disappeared. Sorry, guys. Twitter is retarded when it gets spammed. Sometimes things don't show up. The gist of the question for what I read was, well, how do I feel about the internet speeds in the U.S.? Well, I think the statistic was we are 16th in the world on internet speed, or maybe it was 6th. Bottom line is we're nowhere near as fast internet-wise as the rest of the world is, and that needs to change. I feel that companies like Google and the Fios from Verizon really push the limits, although they're still capping a lot of their stuff at 50 megabits. Some countries have 100 megabits. If I can get 100 megabit up or down and like a 50 megabit up, that would make my day, because I only have 5 megabit up on my connection here, and it still takes 15-20 minutes to upload a video that's 10 minutes long. And if the less time I spend uploading stuff, the more time I have to actually do stuff. So that's how I feel. But I think America really needs to catch up when it comes to internet speeds. There's no reason to be paying for a block of data anymore. Every country still has its providers that give unlimited as well as blocks of data. I think it's time to get with the times. Unlimited, and improve the infrastructure and increase the speeds. Alright guys, I'm going to get on out of here. I appreciate you guys coming and watching. Again, if you followed over here from Boogie and you missed it, he was in here for about 45 minutes, and you guys can watch it on the playback. It will be up in about 15 minutes. It takes time to process, but continue to put your questions down in the comments. I always come back for the next couple of days and answer your tech questions at least as much as I can. And appreciate you guys coming. If you follow from Boogie, hit the subscribe button, check it out. Maybe you'll like something that you see. I've got a little bit of everything for everybody here regarding gaming, computers, technology, and all that stuff. So guys, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate you coming. Remember, if you want to get a hold of me, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff's right there in the description. Even if you want to throw some hate at me, you AMD hater guy, you've been making my day. And JRod311, hey, thanks for coming in here, buddy. I really do like watching your videos. Keep up the good work. Just stick with it. And definitely come to my vlog channel, ask me questions. I've been there, man. I was 500 pounds, and I am where I am now. So there's a future ahead as long as you stick with it. So I hope you'll keep in touch, guy. All right, guys. I will see you later.